Okay, hello. I'm now going to hand you over to Sammy, who will say a few words about each bike before they're fired up.
Good morning, everyone. Great day, great crowd, great bikes. How lucky you lot are. You're going to see the most precious 3 bikes in the world. So you can tell your grandchildren you've seen an early record breaker from AJS, 1929. That's the one in the middle. AJS, famous manufacturers, some here today, they were very active and they were going for the world speed record so they designed this in 1929. 1931 they went to France, fantastic straight road. An ex-army man, Captain Baldwin, was on board and he achieved 138 miles an hour going that way. That's quick for you, wouldn't it? Nearly 100 years ago, 138 miles an hour. Your old thing today wouldn't even do 100 yet. So there you go. But unfortunately, on the way back, it seized, back cylinder seized, and he never got the world record. And unfortunately, he would, if he could have done the back run. You had a world speed record. You had to do 2 runs, one that way, one that way. That equaled out any wind assistance. So 138 miles an hour, 1000 cc, overhead cam, and real classic bit of engineering. AJ Stevens. That's before they were bought up by Matchless. AJ Stevens. So then Jim's just getting ready for this 1932 again. You've all got the honour of seeing the only vertical twin Velocette in the world. You didn't hear me. The only vertical twin Velocette in the world. Overhead cam, quite unique. Apparently it was only about, we've got the record, there was about 6 made, and this is one of the survivors. We've done quite a bit of work with that. Jim and I have sorted it out quite a bit, and we did a big test here on Friday with Alan Cathcart, the world press tester and reporter, and it ran well, so we'll try and see if it runs okay again. All Velocette, vertical twin, overhead cam, and hey, gusto. So take over, Sharon, and we'll crack it into life.
It's in gear, Sam.
What gear, Jim?
Second.
Right, we'll try second. It could be a bit tricky. Fuel on,
Yeah,
oil on.
chokes on. Chokes on
No,
as well.
don't bother with the chokes because
Choke.
no chokes.
No off.
Right, there we go.
Ready?
Try it. Dennis young Frost here, he's a Velocette expert, so what's your opinion of this young Dennis?
Well, thank you, Sammy. I'm Dennis Frost, and I'm the treasurer of the British Motorcycle Charitable Trust, which is our gazebo up there. Do come and talk to us about that. Sammy asked me to help him with some work on this bike. It's very interesting, as you can see. It's two KSS overhead cam engines put together. Sammy, just remind me who's the chap who did the work?
Colin Peters.
Colin Peters, that's right. And Sammy asked me to see whether we could do a little bit of work to make it oil tight, which it is. I've got a KTT, which is the single cylinder racer version of this. And, you know, in this vintage period where you clearly got exposed valves and everything, it's difficult to keep the thing oil tight. But I think Sammy's smartened it up. It came to him with a pre-war petrol tank and a rather strange exhaust system. In Sammy's great tradition, as you can see, he's smartened it up, and I think it looks lovely. So well done, Sammy.
Right, I'm on the next one. Right, world record breakers. This was made in 1929, but it went for the world record in 1931, France, Agen. And 1000cc overhead cam again. Geez, as I said, 138 miles an hour one way, and expired on the way back. So we're going to fire up now, and I was going to ride this in the Bambi run to give him a thrill, but Miller had a bit of a problem, so we didn't make it. But however, it runs exceptionally well, and I'll crack it up and let you have a listen to the world record breaker.
Cut the gear, Sam.
What year?
Second.
Second again. Right.
Okay.
Just a minute. Fuel on, oil on. Right, go. Right, how would you like to do 138 miles an hour on that? That would give you a thrill. You can see how wide the bars are on those, because you need the leverage to keep things going in a straight line. But engine sounds very good. It's 1000cc overhead, single overhead cam, not like this is double overhead cam. So well pleased with that. We'll probably try and get some. Matchams actually have the old stock car racing. They have quite a big circuit. I've been there before and got permission to give it a blast round there, because you couldn't really ride it on the road, because bottom gear is 80 mile an hour. That's too quick for you, isn't it? And then you just 3-speed box, because lots of the early record breakers, they didn't have many gears in the. Like the Excelsior record breaker, it's only got 2 gears, big 1000cc Jap engine, so you use bottom up to 80 miles an hour. You whacked it into top, held on and give it full whack, took it up to 8,000 RPM or something, and then your job was to keep it in a straight line and get it slowed down. But there we go. Really pleased to have this, and it'll join the Ross Superior Pendine racer we've got, the Joe Wright Excelsior record breaker we have up. You can see it from the window up there. So well pleased to have that. And as a young boy, I always see photographs of this thing, so it's a real joy or passion to actually have one that you used to read about when you were a little boy. So there we go. Somebody grab the bike. Right. Here we go. This is the Fiesta Resistance. Okay, Jim. There we go. AJS again, AJ Stevens. They started developing this about 1936, air-cooled, and then they made it water-cooled. V4, 500cc, supercharged, liquid-cooled, 1939. You didn't hear me. None of you flinched. 500 V4 supercharged liquid cooled 1939, and for all you modern Grand Prix men who know all about modern Grand Prix engines, this engine has been, this format, narrow V4, has just been introduced this year to modern GP bikes. They find the 4-cylinder was too wide, so they all went to what AJS did 100 years ago. You didn't hear me, did you? So, there we go. We've had it quite a bit, and Ulster Grand Prix, that's, we used, as kids, during the war we were evacuated out to Temple Patrick, which was near the Ulster Grand Prix circuit, so Miller used to spend a lot of time with his mates, up and down the 7 mile straight. It's Ulster Grand Prix, there was all the old Grand Prix courses were big courses. And the Claddy circuit had a 7 mile straight as a die, but it was like up and down. And after we run it, I'll tell you what happened, but it was coming along the back wheel. So Jim's going to start it up now, and then we'll have a further chat about it. Okay, Jim. Why is this the only one in the world, besides the Indian specification? Why do you think it's the only one in the world?
Yeah, because nobody else has looked after them properly.
All you guys look blank. What do you think it is? Why is it unique?
Come forward.
The young lady's going to educate you lot.
It's the first bike to reach a 100 mile an hour lap around the Ulster circuit.
How do you know that?
I'm clever.
You're not told off. All these thickos there. The young lady's telling me what it is, you know. Well, ask him then. He looked blank when you told him that. He did. Anyway, there you go. First 100 mile an hour lap, right? The great Walter Rusk and the Miller family lived in the Antrim Road, and the Rusk family lived in the Antrim Road. My brother was 10 years older than I, and my brother, Fred Miller, and Walter were semi-mates because they went to the same church. Anyway, Walter Rusk, Ulster Grand Prix 1939, just before the Second World War, the last race before the Second World War, when Serafini, when the Gilliers were here, the Guzzies were here, BMWs were here, the great George Meyer, and so the start of the race, off they go, and Walter was leading the first lap. the second lap he broke the 100-mile-an-hour lap that young lady told you. And then on the third lap, down the 7 mile straight, right? So you're aviating at 130 mile an hour. The front legs broke on here. You can now see the much heavier ones on there because the forks link and Waterman, I used to watch it later, the 7 mile straight, and it was like a motocross circuit. These guys would come down 100 plus with the front wheel in the air, floating down like this. So the front forks gave up because it's quite a heavy bike, and but Walter Rusk achieved the first 100-mile-an-hour lap. Serafini on the Gilera went on to win the race in front of the BMW, so forth. So, but there again, after the Second World War, Bob Foster rode it in the TT later, and with Walter Rusk, but it didn't handle too good because you can see the weight of the thing. They said that the 7 miles straight, he cleared the hedges because he'd come down totally out of control. Everybody cleared the road to make sure there's plenty of room for him to get past. But we're very lucky. The great Jock West, who took a shine to the museum many years ago, he was a director of AMC at Plumstead. He had the bones of this and the bones of the porcupine, so we managed to do a deal with him to buy the remains of this and the remains of the porcupine, and we were lucky to have the two of the most exotic AJSs in the world, the V4 and the porcupine. The porcupine's not here at present, it's in Geneva. FIM headquarters, that's the Federation International Motorcyclists, who run all the Grand Prix today, so if you're watching the Grand Prix, the FIM run them, and at their museum they wanted the porcupine, so they've got the porcupine on loan for a year, and it again was unique. Do you know why? Come on, you're intelligent. Why is the porcupine, come forward, why is the porcupine the most unique bike?
You're putting me on the spot here, aren't you? Because it was the first one to win a world championship.
There you go, you lads. Oh, fickle, yeah. So, the porcupine was the first bike to win a world championship. It was European championship until 1949. 1949, the FIM made it world championship. The great Les Graham won the Belgian Grand Prix, the Dutch TT. I think it was second at the Ulster Grand Prix and fourth at Monza. Won the world championship on the porcupine, but unfortunately it's in Switzerland, so you can't see it. But we've run the porcupine quite a bit at Goodwood, Mallory, Cadwell, and Stuart Graham, Les's son. He's a great friend of mine, a great supporter of the museum. He has ridden it quite a bit, and it was reminding me a bit of an animal, of a bike to ride, but with us sorting it out, he found out Stuart thinks it's a lovely bike to ride, one of the best bikes he's ever ridden, his father's world championship winning AJS Porcupine, so we're very proud of that. But unfortunately you can't see it today, so there you go. Only vertical twin Velocette in the world, AJS record breaker 1931, 1939, first 100-mile-an-hour lap bike in the world. So you can tell your grandchildren you've heard the only V4 running today, the AJS record breaker, and the only Velocette vertical twin AJ. So there we go. Right.